I lost over $10,000 my first year homesteading. Not because of bad luck, not because of a freak storm or a predator attack. I lost it because I made 5 specific mistakes that almost every new homesteader makes. And the worst part? Every single one of them was completely avoidable. Nobody warned me. No YouTube video laid it out straight. No neighbor pulled me aside and said, "Hey, you're about to burn through your savings for nothing." I had to learn the hard way. Expensive feed bills I didn't need. Animals that never turned a profit. Infrastructure I built twice because I did it wrong the first time. But you don't have to repeat my mistakes. By the end of this video, I'm going to walk you through all 5 costly errors, show you exactly how much each one drained from my wallet, and give you the simple fixes that would have saved me thousands from day one. This is the video I wish someone had made before I started. Here's what nobody tells you about starting a homestead. The dream looks beautiful. Fresh eggs every morning, meat you raised yourself, a freezer full of food you didn't buy from a grocery store, total independence. But the reality of year one? It's a money pit. The average new homesteader spends between $8,000 and $15,000 in their first 12 months, and most of that money doesn't go toward building something productive. It goes toward fixing mistakes they didn't even know they were making. You buy the wrong animals for your land, you overspend on feed because you don't know what's growing free in your own backyard. You build coops and fences and shelters that fall apart in 6 months because you skipped one critical step. And the feed companies? They love new homesteaders. They're counting on you not knowing that half of what you're buying is unnecessary filler your animals don't even need. The big box farm stores are the same way. They sell you starter kits and prefab coops and bags of commercial supplements that look professional on the shelf but do almost nothing for your bottom line. Meanwhile, the old-timers down the road are spending a fraction of what you spend and getting twice the production. Their chickens lay more, their goats stay healthier, their gardens produce year-round. The difference isn't luck. It isn't genetics. It isn't some secret supplement. It's knowledge. Specifically, it's knowing which mistakes to avoid before you make them. And that's exactly what I didn't have when I started. I kept a notebook my entire first year. Every receipt, every vet bill, every bag of feed, every broken fence post I had to replace. When I added it all up in December, the number staring back at me was $10,214 in pure waste. Money I didn't need to spend. Money that bought me nothing but frustration and lessons I could have learned for free. Here's what's interesting, though. These mistakes I made, they're not new. Homesteaders have been making them for generations. But the ones who figured it out early, the ones who built farms that actually lasted, they all had one thing in common. They learned from someone who'd already failed. Go back 100 years and farming knowledge passed directly from parent to child. Your grandfather didn't just teach you how to raise chickens, he taught you what not to do, which breeds were a waste of time in your climate, which feed was a scam, which fencing would hold and which would collapse after the first hard rain. That chain of knowledge kept families from repeating expensive mistakes. Every generation got smarter, leaner, more efficient. But then something happened. Commercial agriculture replaced the family farm. Consolidated operations didn't need generational wisdom because they had corporate budgets. The feed industry, the pharmaceutical companies, the equipment manufacturers, they all realized something powerful. New farmers without mentors buy more stuff. So the knowledge gap became profitable for them, not for you. Today, most new homesteaders start completely from scratch. No family land, no generational playbook, no neighbor who's been doing this for 40 years willing to walk you through it. You're left with internet forums full of conflicting advice and farm supply stores designed to sell you things you don't need. And that's why these 5 mistakes keep repeating. not because homesteaders are careless, but because the system that used to prevent these mistakes doesn't exist anymore. So consider this video your generational download, the stuff a farming grandfather would have told you on your first day, the 5 traps that drain new homesteaders dry, and exactly how to sidestep every one of them. Now, before we get into the 5 mistakes, if you're serious about building a homestead that actually saves you money instead of draining it, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video like this one. Mistake number 1: starting with too many animal species at once. This is the #1 killer of first-year budgets, and I fell straight into it. Within my first 3 months, I had chickens, ducks, 2 goats, and a pair of rabbits. Sounds like a real homestead, right? That's what I thought too. But here's what actually happened. Every species needs different fencing, different shelter, different feed, different health protocols. I wasn't running one efficient system, I was running 5 separate money pits that had nothing to do with each other. The goats needed minerals the chickens couldn't touch. The ducks destroyed the water system I'd set up for the rabbits. The chickens needed a predator-proof coop, while the goats needed open-air ventilation. I spent over $2,200 in the first 4 months just on species-specific infrastructure and feed that didn't overlap at all. The fix is simple. Start with 1 species, master it, build your systems around it, get it profitable or at least self-sustaining before you add a second animal. For most people, that starting species should be chickens. Low startup cost, fast return through eggs, forgiving of beginner mistakes. Once your first species is dialed in, then you add a second one that actually integrates with the first. That's how real homesteads scale, not by collecting animals like trading cards. But this next mistake, it might be even more expensive than the first one. Mistake number 2, buying commercial feed before learning what grows free. This one burns my soul because it's so avoidable. My first year, I spent over $3,000 on commercial feed. Bags and bags of layer pellets, goat grain, rabbit feed, scratch mix. My feed store knew me by name. I was their favorite customer. And the whole time, free food was growing within 50 feet of my coop. Clover, dandelion, plantain, lamb's quarters, comfrey, black soldier fly larvae in my compost pile, kitchen scraps I was throwing in the trash instead of the chicken run. Wild forage and farm-grown feed crops can replace 30 to 50% of your commercial feed bill depending on your climate and setup. That's over $1,000 a year for a small flock. The old-timers never bought bags of commercial feed. They didn't exist. Chickens ate pasture, bugs, kitchen waste, and garden scraps, and they thrived. The commercial feed industry convinced us that animals can't survive without their proprietary blends. That's not farming advice, that's marketing. Start by identifying 5 wild plants already growing on your property that your animals can eat. Then plant 1 dedicated feed crop like comfrey or sunflowers. You'll watch your feed bill drop within the first month. And I'll be honest with you, the next mistake on this list is the one that embarrasses me the most. Item 3, mistake number 3, building infrastructure cheap instead of right. I built my first chicken coop for $180 using pallet wood and hardware store hinges. I was proud of it, posted pictures online, got compliments from people who'd never actually kept chickens. Then winter came. The pallet wood warped, the hinges rusted, the roof leaked, gaps opened along the base that might as well have been an open invitation for raccoons. I lost 4 hens to a predator that squeezed through a gap I didn't even know existed, and I had to tear the whole thing down and rebuild it 3 months later for $420. Total cost of that cheap coop, $600 and 4 dead chickens. If I'd spent $350 up front on proper lumber, hardware cloth instead of chicken wire, and a solid roof, I'd have saved money and lives. This rule applies to fencing, too. Cheap field fencing looks fine until a dog pushes through it or a goat leans on it daily for a month. Then you're rebuilding a fence line you already paid for once. The rule is simple. Build it once, build it right. Your future self and your wallet will thank you. Now this next mistake ties all the others together, and once I figured it out, everything changed. Every single one of these mistakes comes back to the same root problem. Nothing on my property was connected. The chickens weren't feeding the garden wasn't feeding the chickens, and I was paying for everything in between. Once I redesigned my layout so every zone fed the next one, the bleeding stopped. I put the exact blueprint into a free guide, the 4-zone layout, the rotation systems, the feed crops that replaced my feed store trips. Links in the description if you want to skip the $10,000 lesson I had to learn the hard way. I planted my first garden the week after we moved in, threw seeds in the ground, watered daily, and waited for the abundance to roll in. Nothing rolled in. My tomatoes were stunted. My greens bolted in 3 weeks. My root vegetables came out the size of golf balls. I blamed the seeds. I blamed the weather. I blamed the variety. Turns out the problem was 6 inches below my feet the entire time. My soil was compacted clay with a pH of 5.2 and almost 0 organic matter. I was planting into dirt, not soil. There's a massive difference. A basic soil test costs between $10 and $15 at your local extension office. That $15 test would have saved me an entire growing season and over $600 in wasted seeds, amendments, and irrigation I didn't need. Before you plant a single seed, test your soil. Know your pH, your nitrogen levels, your organic matter content. Then amend based on actual data instead of guessing. Healthy soil grows healthy food that feeds healthy animals that fertilize healthy soil. That's the cycle, and it starts with a $15 test. But the last mistake is the one that almost made me quit entirely. This is the silent killer. When you don't track what you're spending, you can't see the bleeding, you just feel it. $100 here, $50 there, a vet visit, a new waterer, another bag of feed because you ran out 3 days early. None of it feels catastrophic in the moment, but it compounds. I didn't start tracking my expenses until month 8. When I finally sat down and went through bank statements, receipts, and credit card bills, I nearly fell out of my chair. I didn't have any idea I was spending over $800 a month on a homestead that was producing maybe $200 worth of food. The moment I started tracking every dollar, everything changed. I could see exactly where the waste was hiding. Feed was 40% of my total spend. Impulse purchases at the farm store were another 20%. Replacement materials from bad infrastructure decisions made up the rest. A simple spreadsheet or even a notebook by the back door is all you need. Write down every purchase, every input, every output, weekly. When you can see the numbers, you make smarter choices. You stop buying things you don't need. You start prioritizing systems that actually return value. This single habit would have saved me more than any breed choice or garden layout, because you can't fix a problem you can't see. Every single one of these mistakes comes back to the same root problem. Nothing on my property was connected. The chickens weren't feeding the garden wasn't feeding the chickens, and I was paying for everything in between. Once I redesigned my layout so every zone fed the next one, the bleeding stopped. I put the exact blueprint into a guide, the 4-zone layout, the rotation systems, the feed crops that replaced my feed store trips. Links in the description if you want to skip the $10,000 lesson I had to learn the hard way. Let me take you back to October of my first year. I was standing in my backyard at 6 in the morning, staring at a garden that had produced almost nothing. My chicken coop was held together with zip ties and hope. I had 2 goats that were eating more than they'd ever be worth, and my feed bill that month had just crossed $400 for the 3rd time in a row. I remember thinking, this was supposed to save us money. My wife and I had moved out of the city with this vision of growing our own food, raising our own animals, and cutting our living costs in half. Instead, we were spending more than we ever had on groceries because now we had grocery bills and farm bills stacking on top of each other. I seriously considered selling everything, the goats, the chickens, the fencing, all of it. I even looked up what I could get for the coop lumber if I tore it down and sold it for scrap. But instead of quitting, I did something that changed the entire trajectory of our homestead. I sat down with a notebook and wrote out every single dollar I'd spent since we started. Then I sorted it into categories: feed, infrastructure, vet and health, seeds and garden, impulse purchases, replacements for things I'd already bought once. The patterns were painfully obvious. I was spending money on 5 different systems that didn't talk to each other. I was feeding animals food I could have grown, I was replacing structures I should have built right the first time, and I was doing all of it blind because I never tracked a single number. That notebook became my turning point. Within 60 days, I cut my monthly spend by almost 40%. I rehomed the goats and focused entirely on chickens and garden integration. I planted comfrey and clover to offset my feed costs. I rebuilt my coop once with proper materials and never touched it again. By month 14, my homestead broke even for the first time. By month 18, it was actually saving us money every single month. All because I stopped pretending the problems weren't there and started looking at the numbers honestly. And if you take nothing else from this video, take that. The numbers don't lie. They'll show you exactly what's broken if you're brave enough to look. Here's what's waiting for you on the other side of these mistakes: a homestead that actually pays for itself, not in some distant fantasy future, within your first 18 to 24 months if you do it right. Imagine walking out your back door every morning to a system that runs itself. Chickens feeding the garden with their manure, the garden producing feed that cuts your store-bought grain in half. Every zone connected, every dollar working twice. Your grocery bill drops by 60 to 40%. Your freezer is full of food you raised with your own hands. Your medicine cabinet for your animals is stocked with herbs and remedies that cost you nothing because they grow on your property. And the pride that comes with it, you can't put a dollar amount on that. You stop being a consumer and start being a producer. You stop depending on supply chains and start depending on yourself. That's not just a lifestyle change, that's an identity shift that affects everything from how you eat to how you think about money. The homesteaders who make it past year 1 without going broke are the ones who build smart from the beginning. Small, integrated, tracked, intentional. That can be you, starting right now, starting with what you learned today. So let me ask you this: which of these 5 mistakes have you already made, or which one are you about to avoid because of this video? Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one, and I'd love to hear where you are in your homestead journey. If this video saved you even one expensive lesson, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell. I put out new videos every week on how to build a homestead that actually works without draining your bank account. And speaking of saving money, my next video is going to show you the exact animals that pay for themselves within 90 days on a small property. Most people overlook every single one of them. You're not going to want to miss that one. Remember, every big homestead started as a small one. The difference between the ones that made it and the ones that didn't was never money. It was knowledge. And now you've got it.